Let's go over to another game that was pretty crazy, pretty revealing. Let's talk about the
Surprising,
reigning
but not
MVP champ.
surprising.
Surprising, not surprising. Let's talk about the reigning MVP and Aaron Rodgers going to Minnesota. Obviously, a divisional rivalry. Way to start off. Big game for the Packers, and pretty much a dud. Pretty much, Green Bay Packers got mollywopped the entire game. It was kind of desperation the whole entire game.
It's
Julian, I don't know
terrible.
if you're able to see any of the highlights. What were your takeaways from Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers? Do you think Aaron Rodgers still reigning MVP?
All
Did
right.
he play like an MVP yesterday or
Okay.
last week?
I think my take is going to be different from you guys because I don't think it's not about how bad the Packers played. I think Minnesota has been slept on this entire offseason. Minnesota has been a good team for the past few years. They've been having some weird coaching decisions and like play calling that just wasn't working well. Obviously, they changed it up, and that team is good. That team is very good. And my overreaction from the game has nothing to do with the Packers. My overreaction is that Justin Jefferson is going to be the best receiver in the league this year because that man is an absolute monster, and they were leaving him wide open. And Kirk Cousins had a game. Kirk Cousins was on fire. He was balling. Dalvin Cook was running the ball. That team is a very good team with a really good offensive line. You have Dalvin Cook who can just take the top off like a off the defense, and the same thing with Justin Jefferson who could just jump up and grab any ball. And then you have Adam Thielen who can just run his crossing routes and get little dunk passes and just score. So that's a really good team. The defense is stout. That team is really good defensively. I think it has nothing to do with the Packers. I think the Vikings are a very good team. They just the past year or two, they didn't make the playoffs because of like bad coaching decisions. But now I think they should win that division, and they're going to the playoffs. That is a playoff team. They are very good, and they are way better from top to bottom than the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers literally had nobody. Aaron Rodgers had nobody except Aaron Jones, and that was it. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon were the only ones doing anything for that team. Sammy Watkins had like a catch or two. Like
There was some big.
But that was about it. I mean, A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones had a combined of 111 rushing yards out of 18 carries. Obviously, they were down, so they had to throw a lot, but no touchdown passes, nothing. I mean, their number one receiving, the player that lead in receiving was A.J. Dillon, who's not even a receiving back. He's a big body back, and he had 5 receptions for 46 yards. You want Randall Cobb had 2 catches. Robert Tonyan had 3. Sammy Watkins had 3. It's just bad. It's just bad, absolutely bad receiving core. That team is going to have to absolutely rely on the rushing because that's all they have. And the defense, honestly, obviously, like I was just hyping up the Vikings, but the defense has to stop. Justin Jefferson was wide fucking open. I don't know how many times, wide open. And he is the best, one of the most talented receivers in the league, and they're leaving him wide open. Dude had 9 receptions, 184 yards, 2 TDs. Unreal.
Yeah, I mean, my takeaway from the game was, man, Aaron Rodgers looks empty without any weapons, right?
Yeah.
This whole thing about getting his contract, getting paid, right? He's like, oh, you want to get paid? Well, we have to get rid of the talent around. He had all this big thing about he really wants,
which
Randall
I don't
Cobb.
buy.
Yeah, he had this thing about Randall Cobb. He really wants Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb is the difference. It's going to keep him there. It's going to make him happy. Look at the results. There are a ton of names I've never seen, never heard of before, playing that on the Green Bay side. And yeah, it's pretty sad when your running back is the leading receiver with like 40 yards or something like that.
And he's not even a receiving back.
So, man, he looks like a skeleton without any help, right? And yes, it's great to have the MVP player. He should play well. But if you have nobody to throw to, nobody with talent to get out there, which is probably the biggest gripe that everybody thought. Maybe the biggest thing I thought that Aaron Rodgers was mad about is that every year in the draft they never draft any talent. You know what I mean? They never draft any wide receivers. They're getting like third, fourth rounders, like instead of skipping the first and second round. Never get any help, but they did draft your boy Love in the first round. So I thought that was the biggest gripe. Now he's getting paid. Nobody else is around him. Devontae Adams had a good day on Sunday. MVS, Scantling, what was his name? Van Scantling in Kansas City had a good day. Aaron Rodgers did not have a good day.
Did not have a good day.
So, yeah, I think it's pretty bad. I'm overreacting. I'm saying Aaron Rodgers, not good enough. Not good enough this season. I don't think they make the playoffs this season.
I really don't think it's Aaron. It's bad GM play. Like we could talk about all the money issues all day long, but it's like at the end of the day, Green Bay has never been a team that spends money.
Nope.
They have no depth. They're not getting any players on good salaries, no budget. Like, you have the ability to bring in people, and they don't. Honestly, go get fucking Odell. Get somebody in there. Like, obviously, Odell's not who he was, but you got to do something. Like, for real.
Hey, it looks like Odell might be swinging towards the Bills. I don't know, man.
Oh, yeah.
Might be looking towards that side. But my take on Aaron Rodgers, man, you'd expect I don't want to overreact, but I am going to overreact. All right, it's kind of like give me a flashback to last season, right? I predicted him last season. You guys can go back on the last episodes where I predicted it correct, that he had something to prove with his organization, and he was going to go and have an MVP season, in which he did. And when they got smoked by, I think it was New Orleans, right? That first game of the season, everyone looked like that. He
like
threw the
45, 42-0.
Yeah. And then, that was just the first game of the season. But now I'm thinking like, hey, I mean, Aaron Rodgers already got paid. He doesn't have any weapons. He made his decision, right? He could have left. He could have went to a contender, right? That, seemed like the Broncos, right? That needed a quarterback. But he chose the money, and Green Bay got rid of all of the assets there. So now he's stuck, and that's the hand that he played out. And now what, right? So usually, and it doesn't really matter what team Aaron Rodgers has, but when they go play Minnesota, he dominates Minnesota. So it looks like the tables have slowly turned, and now he's just stuck in Green Bay and has to play out this sad, depressing season. So that's my overreaction on that game one where Aaron Rodgers.
How the turns have tabled.
Wow.
But Gabe, what like?
Turns
All right,
have tabled.
I was just so.
Yes.
What do you guys think of my assessment of the Vikings, though? Like,
I mean, the Vikings
They
are
played very well. Yeah, Gabe.
obviously talented. I've been high on Justin Jefferson, man. As soon as I saw him his rookie year, I'm like, yo, this guy's going to be a star in this league. So I'm very high on Justin Jefferson. A lot of people are down on Thielen because they think Jefferson's going to be so good. So, yeah, man, the Vikings should be fine. Dalvin Cook is an excellent quarterback.
Captain Kirk.
Yeah, coming out of FSU, Dalvin Cook. As long as he stays healthy, Dalvin Cook should have a good year. Justin Jefferson, like I said, I'm high on him. They have a couple rookie. They have a rookie tight end who didn't really get a lot of spots. But man, Justin Jefferson, what a fantastic! If you got him in the league, that's a first rounder. You pick him up.
Hey, he already dropped a 40 piece in fantasy, man. He already got 40 piece.
I mean,
more.
and if Kirk Cousins keeps on playing like he's playing, shit, he might get an MVP call. Like, I mean, man, that was one hell of a game by him.